live edition of the podcast that was the inspiration for the beloved bread-based character, the Pillsbury Doughboy. I am Jared Stormer of the Block M Podcast Network and maizenbrew.com. With me, as always, is Andy Bailey, my hetero life mate of the same place and time. His name is Andy Bailey, King of Kings. Look on his works, ye mighty, and despair. How you doing, my friend?
I am good, brother. How are you?
I am doing all right. Getting right into it today. Literally, you wrap up work, get right into the podcast. We are men of the people here to talk about some Michigan football, some Michigan basketball that happened last night. I'm not sure if you got a chance to watch any of that. Got some news to get through. It's the Michigan podcast. We do it every weekend, twice a week during the season. Shall we get into it and touch the banner, my friend?
Let's do it.
James Franklin of Virginia Tech. We could have touched on this last week, did not do so. What are your thoughts on this one?
I think it's going to work out well for both parties. I really do. I think it's a step up. Like James Franklin will be able to recruit there, help him get back to 8-9 wins, and then move on to the next job. And I hope Virginia Tech is able to carry that momentum onto their next head coach. It's not a long-term solution, but I think it's a step in the right direction for both programs. Say what you will about Franklin's game management. He can at least come in there, bring them back to relevancy, have them above average in the ACC. Is he going to win anything big? Probably not, but this guy consistently won TIG games in the Big Ten. He can handle the ACC.
I think so as well. I'm just telling you, if you're paying me $49 million to not work, I'm taking a gap year. You can find me on the beaches of Columbia. I'll do a podcast to make sure that I'm getting my payout from Penn
You can
State. But
find me
this is
on
a
the
great
beaches
hire.
of an Arby's outside. I'll just do nothing. Lower the bar.
The sweet scenic beaches of Arby's.
These.
We have the meats. I would be doing that, but yeah, it's a good hire for them, man. It really is, and he is going to bring them back to relevance. We'll see if they kind of open up the pocketbooks a little bit. I've been hearing some stuff about their refusal or at least unwillingness to go into the NIL era. I imagine there'd be some type of agreement if you're going to bring in a coach like Franklin that the university intends to make major strides there. Football's just better when Virginia Tech is good. I
Yeah.
also agree that it's probably a stepping stone for him.
Yeah, it's always weird, like having to say nice things about James Franklin, and just instead of just like we enjoy just shitting on him all the time. It's like he's going to help the program. It's going to be a move in the right direction.
It is. It is indeed. That's the only domino that's fallen yet. We've heard some rumors, some scuttlebutt about some stuff. The Desmond Howard may be throwing some more fuel on the fire about Sark taking a different job there. I've heard that one. I've heard UCLA is zeroing in on the James Madison head
Great
coach.
hire. That's a great
That would be
hire from him.
it'd be a really good move for them. So those are the only ones I've heard. I don't know if you've heard anything. There was obviously the Lane Kiffin down at LSU stuff. He's refuted that, but he's going to refute anything
Yeah.
they say. So we should start hearing pretty soon here, though, I would imagine, on a lot of these.
Exactly. And I think with Penn State, Pat Fitzgerald's been a name that circled. There's been a couple up there as well, but nothing yet. We're still waiting for the first one to really fall. But as the season winds down, it's going to happen.
You have to let me do it. When you win 11 in a row, I get a Pistons Corner back-to-back podcast. They are a wagoon. We met in the middle of the night. Wagon Ball Z, the wagon committee met in the middle of the night. You win 11 in a row, and that's just the facts. It's just so nice to be able to tune into all my podcasts and hear them talking about my favorite team and about how this is the best part is that, like, I would be fine if Michigan would have won under Rich Rod and we're airing it out. We're playing that disgusting 3-3-5 defense. If we would have found a way to win, I would have embraced it. But how nice is it for Michigan to win in the way Michigan's always been winning and to return to that identity that they have? That's what's happening with the Pistons, winning with defense, beating the hell out of everyone every night that they do it. Good guard play, likable team. It's nice, man. It's been fun. It's been really, really fun to watch.
Good for you, man. I'm so happy for you. This team is awesome. Also, they have like the most likable young superstar in the NBA in Cade Cunningham. Like he stuck it out, went the hard way. Nothing was easy for him. And now it's all paying off, and he's become a top 10 player in the league.
Yep. No, totally with you, brother. The Big Ten private equity deal rejected by Michigan and USC. Michigan, hypothetically, with this, we're not going to go into this because it's really complicated and involves finance bros and all sorts of weird private equity firms and stuff like that. But essentially, the big piece of this is hypothetically, Michigan put it on the table that they would even consider leaving the Big Ten in 2036 if they can't come to an agreement that works for all parties. So, do you think that that actually would happen? Would Michigan leave and go independent?
I don't know if it'd be independent, but I mean, we're going to see some crazy stuff over the next decade as it is with teams separating. I kind of foresee the Big Ten and SEC leaving the NCAA and doing something their own anyway. So where Michigan lies, I don't know. I mean, I like them using that. It would be very strange for them not to be in the Big Ten, but it's also
Yeah.
very strange for Oregon, USC, and Washington to be in the Big Ten. So the times they are changing, so it's hard to see. But I'm glad they're digging their heels in against this deal.
I'm with you there. It should be less about profitability and more about product. Put us as college football czars. We would have this thing ironed out over the weekend. Give us a
Oh yeah,
weekend, 30 rack of Coors. We'll get this hammered out. I guarantee it. It's going to make perfect sense. Everyone's going to be happy, and the fans will come back in droves.
yeah. Something's getting hammered.
Tell you what, we could do 30 racks, 30 rack a piece. Let's talk a little basketball, brother. Wolverines go 86-61 over Middle Tennessee. Kept it close there for a little bit, but Michigan pulls away late to go to 4-0, currently ranked number 7 in the country. Yaxel Lendenborg in this one. This was what we were waiting for. 25 points on 9 of 12, makes all of his free throws, 12 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals, a block, all over the place. Really, really put his fingerprints on this one. And I think this is something that we were expecting to see, but people were starting to get a little anxious. Like, when's this guy going to start dominating? Like, well, here you have it.
It's only the beginning. It's only the beginning. We knew this was coming. It was on the horizon. He talked about it a lot in his post-game press conference too, about how he'd been so deferential and almost to a fault. Like when he has a one-on-one, he's going to dominate that. He does a good job when he has 2 on him finding the open man, but like when he gets that one-on-one, he has the talent and capability to do it. I believe I saw a stat. It was like his 86th career double-double.
That's silly.
When you got 85 in the tuck, like it's fine to take those matchups and dominate like he did. And we're going to see it again next week because we need it going to that tournament out in Las Vegas, play San Diego State on Monday night, then follow up with Auburn. So this team's really going to get tested next week. So it's a great time to have Yaxel's arrival precede that.
Yeah, gonna find out exactly what this team's made of. They're mostly healthy. And this one, Ade Mara also goes for a double-double, but 4 turnovers in this one. Starting to notice those turnovers as well with
Came
Mara.
down a little
That's
bit,
something.
though.
Yeah, I mean they did, but 4 is still a little bit much
Yeah.
for your center. So I mean he's
You don't
not a
like
ball
behind the
handler.
back passes from a 7-3 guy?
I do not, unless you're Alperin Sengun. But yeah, he needs to clean that up. But I still think like he's going to be a really important piece to this. Still a big fan of what Mojo's been bringing. I thought Cadeau had a better game in this one as well, which we thought he would. He would settle back down in this one. Granted, I get it; it's Middle Tennessee, but nonetheless, I think there was some more measured performances in this one, particularly in the second half.
Yeah, I like the insertion of Cheddar to start. I loved LJ Case and the energy he brought off the bench in this was really needed. And it was a sloppy start to this. Cadeau had some turnovers early on. I think he had 2 turnovers in the first 4 minutes or something, and then didn't have another one. So again, they got to overcome these slow starts going on the road. But I just love that this team can win in so many ways, man. Like that's really going to matter come March.
It is. And again, they shoot 20% from 3. Like they have been not shooting it well to start this season other than game 1. And we have to imagine that'll turn back around. I imagine this team will shoot something closer to league average. So 20%, 5 of 25 in this game, just out talented them in the second half, which they'll be able to do a lot of times. That San Diego State and Auburn, man, like you said, back-to-back real tests. We're going to get our first measuring stick for this team. And I think we'll be able to have much more interesting conversation about who they are and what their ceiling is after that.
Exactly. Great early season test. I love having these games in basketball early on. It's kind of like a football non-conference game, but obviously there's not as much punishment had you lose.
Yes, agree with you there, sir. Anything else you wanted to touch on? We can get into some football.
Michigan hockey, baby. Got Ohio State this weekend. Finally, a little reprieve from the vicious schedule that's been going on. Michigan hasn't played a non-top 10 team in a month. And 4 of the last 5, they've played more top 10 teams this season than they have outside the top 10. Like, it's been a brutal start to the schedule. Now they have Ohio State, unranked, but still capable. All their losses are by 1 goal. They're a 500 team, really put in the mid and Midwest, but they're going to come in ready to fight. They're going to do a lot to get after this team. I think Michigan has the recipe. Last year, they put up 3 goals against Christoph Eberle in net for Ohio State. And this year, Michigan is undefeated when scoring 3 or more goals. So I think that's going to kind of be the secret sauce here. And although Jack Ivankovic's overall stats, his more traditional ones, save percentage, goals against average, have gone up facing this heightened competition recently, the advanced analytics favor him. One of the top 2 goalies in the country right now with everything he's doing in terms of saves expected over average and those 2 metrics combined. It's just team's a wagon. Excited for this weekend. I'd love to get a sweep over Ohio State, get that momentum going. Can't let Michigan State pull away in the conference race right now. So very important to get some points here.
It's looking like a damn Oregon Trail with all these wagons out there.
I know. You're telling me, brother.
An abundance of wagons just crossing the country, looking for brighter pastures, greener pastures. Good for us. Good for us. We are truly in the Lord's warm embrace right now. No doubt about it. And until another loss comes for one of these major teams, like, these are the good times right here. I mean, this is a winning. I guess the Lions are kind of the one setback. The Lions could miss the playoffs with how absurd our division is. Isn't that obscene? Like, they've had a good season.
It's weird, but also, I mean, Michigan women's basketball just absolutely boat racing Notre Dame last week and potentially like making a program generational run for what they're doing helps soothe some of the pain for me.
It does, but I obviously put Lions ahead of Michigan women's basketball.
Jared hates women's sports. I got it on the record. I'll set you up for
that. That's what I said. Just edit my phrasing in AI. That's great stuff by you. Just slightly. I put Lions ball ahead, and like, I haven't seen winning at the highest level. Granted, I haven't seen that at Michigan's women's basketball either.
Yeah. So, but I mean, we got bigger fish to fry for the time being.
We got bigger fish to fry, and it's Mike Locksley and those punks at Maryland, 4:00 Eastern, which is a weird kickoff time, but I digress. Heading to College Park. Looking forward to this one, man. I'm very interested to talk about this matchup against Maryland. Is it at 12:05? Is that correct? Oh, no, that's never mind. Sorry, Tony. I'm an idiot. Tony put the timestamp in. I thought he was changing the time that the kickoff was. And I was like, is it a noon game? How did I miss that?
It's been a long Thursday. Official kickoff is 4:01.
Okay. 4:01. What?
It's so stupid.
That's the stupidest thing I've heard, since Schumacher put nipples on the bat suit. Look, it's Maryland. This was my lock of the year that they were going to be under 4 wins. They started out hot, got 4 wins, and I was so down and dejected. I'm like, oh, man, there goes my lock. Lock is alive. They haven't won since.
The team is on the ropes. They won their first 4 games. They've lost, 5 in a row now with 2 to go. Fighting for bowl eligibility. So they need this one if they're going to make it to the Sarsaparilla Bowl. Does that still exist? They go to that one.
Well, they could beat Michigan State to end it because Michigan State is already not going to be bowl eligible. So nothing for them to fight for. Was that the mid bowl all along? Or did we already see the mid bowl? I mean, that might be the below mid bowl.
Yeah, there's honestly several contenders for the mid bowl because when you get down to the nitty gritty of the Big Ten, there's just a lot of yikes. A lot of mid indeed. So Maryland sitting there with 4 wins, needing this one to get to bowl eligibility. As you mentioned, Mike Locksley, still the coach. I thought maybe at this point in the season he would have been fired, but that early start plus Malik Washington, I think that's the key. There's hope for this Maryland team because of some of the youth and how well Malik Washington has performed up to this point. I'm not sure if you've gotten a chance to watch him more than a couple times. I've seen him once. Just for a full game. I've seen a lot of highlights though. And there's a lot to like, man. I mean, on the season, 2,300 passing yards, 13 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. But I mean, for a freshman, I'm pretty sure that's exactly what Bryce has as well. And only sacked 3 times. He's big. He can move. I think he's an exciting player, man. So let's start with this Maryland offense. What have you seen from them? Second youngest team in the Big Ten. So Michigan being the youngest, 8-2. Keep that perspective again. This team is fighting to make a bowl. Old friend Pep Hamilton calling the plays there. It's kind of interesting how Pep was replaced by Josh Gaddis at Michigan, and now Josh Gaddis has been
all the retreads.
It just circles right back around. So Found that interesting right away. You hit the nail on the head, though. This offense is Malik Washington. He is the entire offense. Only Baylor's Sawyer Robertson averages more passing attempts per game in the Power Four. However, Baylor is also the top-ranked Power Four passing attack, while Maryland is 64th. So it's not exactly efficient.
No, it's not 1-to-1. It is better at home. I will say their offense is certainly better at home. On the road, he has struggled. Does that remind you of any other freshman quarterbacks that you've heard of? So they're the number 62 passing offense, 233 yards per game. And that's the highlight. That's probably what they're the best at on offense. Actually, it's not probably. It is what they're best at on offense. Number 117 rushing offense, only 110 yards per game. That is not good. This is not a very, very potent running team. They are number 2 in sacks allowed, though. So if you were going to pick something else that I really like to look at, only 3 sacks given up on the year. Is that a testament to the offensive line, to Malik Washington? Is that schemed up? What do you think?
Scheme. Their offensive line sucks. It's bad. I mean, Maryland's forced to play this way and put so much on the shoulders of Malik Washington because they can't move anybody off the line of scrimmage. They haven't had a running back go over 100 yards this season. Washington's the only player to cross that mark, and he did so in a 2-touchdown loss to Rutgers. It's awful. The whole offense is designed for him to get the ball out quick. He's averaging like I think 6 yards per pass attempt. It's quick strike. It's move the ball. The offensive line, again, youthful. So, like, that's another reason for us, the inexperience. So they're putting a ton on Malik Washington's shoulders, not too dissimilar from what they used to do to Talia Tagovailoa.
It is trial by fire for Malik Washington, and maybe this will pay dividends down the road. If you look at how they've performed against good defenses, though, I think that this could really be a problem. Against some of the lesser defenses, which there are more than I thought, to be honest, in the Big Ten, he's had his way. But against like good defenses, I would say that he struggled a little bit. So against Indiana, obviously, very, very much a struggle for him in that one. He goes for 242 yards, but 2 interceptions, not very efficient. Got some of the sacks in there as well. So he'll put up numbers, but it's late in games. He'll do it when the game is already out of reach, and then he'll kind of pad some of those numbers. When the game is still in the balance early on against some of these better defenses, against Illinois, against Indiana, against UCLA even, he can struggle when the chips are on the table.
It's a fast food offense. It's quick delivery, but it's a lot of empty calories. Like that's all these stats are. He's throwing the ball around, spreading it. I actually like some of their receivers, or I guess I like one of their receivers. Shalik Knox leads them, but I really like the Oklahoma transfer, Jaleel Farouk. I really liked him when he was at OU, and then watching him, I think he's 3rd on the team this year in reception, so somebody to keep an eye on. But I mean, for an offense, it's football basics. If you can't run the football at just in basic average midline level, everything else is going to be more difficult.
I'm with you there. So to illustrate my point here, against Illinois last week, which I would not say is one of the more elite defenses, it's a top half defense in the Big Ten, but elite it is not. After they kick a field goal to make this 6-7 with 6 minutes left in the second quarter, this is the rest of Maryland's plays. 6 plays, 34 yards, punt. 2 plays, 5 yards, interception. 5 plays, 15 yards, punt. 17 plays, 95 yards, turnover on downs. That's where Malik Washington gets the majority of his stats for that game. 3 plays, 6 yards, punt. End of game. Nothing. They did nothing for the entire more than second half of this game. And if you look up and down, it's a lot of garbage time stuff. It is kind of Mickey Mouse fast food. I like the way that you described it there. It's like it looks good if you're just box score watching and saying, man, look at this Malik Washington kid. But they're putting it all on his shoulders, and it's cashing in when the game's out of reach.
They're a year away from being a year away. That's exactly where they stand in terms of like being an elite team. Like we keep talking about Michigan 2027, but they're further behind than that. The development's not catching up. Again, they're throwing so much on his shoulders. You hope he doesn't develop that scar tissue that a lot of quarterbacks do when they start turning the ball over. You kind of start to spiral, lose control of it a little bit. But we'll see. We'll see. I mean, their whole game plan is Malik Washington. Like it's very straightforward and simple. They can jump you. They can get fast starts against Washington. I believe they started that game up like 20-0. And then Washington had to fight back in the second half and won 24-20. So Michigan cannot sleepwalk in this. We've seen that time and time again against Maryland. We saw it in 2022 at home, 1 possession game. 2023 on the road with the national champions, one possession game. So it's not a team. Loxley's going to have him up for Michigan. He always does.
Yes, he will. Question from Josh Hunley in the chat. Can they throw it deep? That's not really what he does. His average depth of throws, or his average completion depth, is 6.2 yards. And you look up and down like by game, the longest of the season was actually against Indiana, a 55-yarder. But aside from that, it's a lot of 19, 25. Like big plays are sparse. It's a lot more, like Andy was saying, get the ball out quickly. So that generally means shorter routes. So I wouldn't say like they're going to be just bombing our guys deep in this one. But that's the way to attack Michigan, to be fair, like is with those quick outs and stuff like that. So yeah, Michigan does have to be prepared, but they have struggled against good defenses. Anything else on their offense before we switch sides of the ball?
Number 129 in time of possession. Also not going to help a young quarterback.
Not going to help your quarterback. That's a great call out there. Let's actually go special teams here real quick, because I wanted to look at what Michigan was in the country. Number 126 in the country at 2.8 yards per return. They are number 91 in punt returns at 7 yards. But look at that difference between 91 and 126. Like we are in the dregs of special teams units there. Additionally, number 65 in penalty yards, kind of middle of the pack there.
Yeah.
So not really great at special teams and a marginally penalized team. So take that as you will, just kind of middle of the road.
Yeah, punters are a wash, pretty similar, except Drew O'Hare does have 50 punts compared to Michigan's 34, so maybe just a little more experience, more time on task. Kicker, they do have an advantage. Sean O'Hare has only missed twice this season, only once from inside 50. However, Dom Zavada coming off the game winner, got his confidence back. It's going to be dumping the rain in College Park, at least it's projected. So I don't know how much these are going to come into, but you are going to have to see teams focus in on these for ball security purposes.
I'd like to think that favors Michigan, but ball security after last week,
it's hard to say that.
It could be a mess. It could be an absolute mess out there. So I don't know. I would not be betting on this one. I forget what the spread is, actually. I'm sure I can find that.
It jumped up to 13.5, I think. It opened at like 9.
Interesting. I'd be okay at 9. I'd feel pretty good at that. 13.5. Getting there. But let's go over to the defensive side of the ball, where their defense has not been the best. Number 59 scoring defense. Again, we're like middle in the pack with a lot of these, which is better than I thought they would be. And honestly, that's what the eye test has shown me when I've watched Maryland, because I thought it was going to be an abject disaster. It's not great, but it's not a disaster. The rush defense is where, if you want to exploit them, that's how you rush it. That's how you exploit them.
Yeah.
So take that as you will when it's going to be raining against a Michigan offensive line that's starting to come into their own, but it's the number 103 rush defense. They give up about $170 per game. Only 9 touchdowns on the ground, though. That could just be a symptom of like the way the games have played out and luck and people attacking through the air, or it could mean that the red zone defense is sturdier than you'd imagine. But that's how you want to attack this team, is on the ground for sure.
This is the worst rushing defense Michigan's faces all season, statistically. They are not good. They can kind of be formidable. They're kind of like a 2-quarter defense where they'll hold up for a little bit. But, brother, once that dam breaks, it breaks. It floods. So it's kind of got to like, it's like the boa constrictor analogy from a few years ago. You got to put those body shots in early. You got to run the football. Then you're going to start breaking them. I mean, we saw it in Northwestern with the 38, I believe it was 38 yards in the first half, and then the dam broke in the second half. It'll be even worse against Maryland and will not be as formidable at the front end. So I think you're going to see a very strategic approach, very strategic in running the damn ball in this one over and over again. And I just can't remember any defense that was planning to beat Michigan and their game strategy is, please don't run the ball on us. It's just, it never ends up well.
Yeah, you and I were texting with producer Tony, and the more we dug into this, the more we just I could sense just like nodding in front of our computers, like, oh yeah, this is what we want to see.
I kept watching games today on YouTube, and I was like fast forwarding through it. I'm like, man, like this just is on paper looks awful. As bad of a matchup as they can have, worse than some of their previous teams, really youthful. And you hit it early about with the teams that like when they play up competitions, they really stat padded early in the season with some of those lesser opponents. And if you extract those out of it, it gets even worse.
It does. If I want to compliment their defense, we were talking about the offensive line doesn't give up many sacks. Their defensive line can get after the quarterback with Sidney Stewart, who I forget where he transferred in from, but I believe he was a transfer in. Zahir Mathis as well, 5.5 sacks for him, 6 for Sidney Stewart, and leading tackler linebacker Daniel Wingate. Like they have some guys. And
Yeah.
in the secondary, who is it that I really like? I think it's Husky, which is a dope name for a defensive back. He's got 4 picks on the season. He's been pretty solid. So there's guys. It's just as a unit, I don't think it's that cohesive. I think there's a lot of ways to attack it. I almost wish it wasn't going to be a downpour, though, to kind of get some more time on task for Bryce. I know we were kind of joking, like, I hope he doesn't throw it, but like, it'd probably be better big picture if he did have the opportunity to and get past that and have a short memory and go out there and have some good completions and a good turnover free game. I just don't think they're going to throw it that much.
No, they're not, especially if it's going to rain. I mean, this is a ball hawking feast or famine secondary. They lead the Power 4 in interceptions. Like that's a very real stat. They have 18 picks on the year, but they're middle of the road in yards. So that tells you all you need to know. Like they are going to gamble in this game. I believe Husky has 4 picks. Glasker has 3 picks. Roland also has 3 picks, and then they have a couple guys with 2. So everybody's eating the back end on this one. However, like I know it'll be raining, but if you want to be aggressive against this one, double moves are going to be there. Like an Andrew Marsh sluggo, like the slant and go. I mean, it's tough to run it off of an RPO action because you have to throw it so fast. But if they bite on that and he can just put one in the air that he can get there and there's no safety, that's something to watch for in this game. So look for some double moves. Look for maybe some wheel route, something where these edge rushers can't get up the field too fast. Bryce is able to make a throw that's not over the middle, that's not in any danger. And that could be a way to get back into this thing for Bryce, get the confidence back up, or at least keep it up from the end of the Northwestern game.
Yeah, I'd like to see it. I mean, I would, even if he's only going 5 for 6 on this one because it's a monsoon and we just need to get out of there without turning the ball over and win the game. I think it'd be nice to see. To answer your question, Josh, am I crazy for not wanting to see Marshall play this week so he can be healthier for OSU? No. You are not crazy. No. You are not crazy at all. I think I agree with that. I think we can win this game just running Kuz and Jasper Parker, honestly, and running them 45, 50 times and having that be the game plan. That's where I'm at right now, especially if it's going to be a monsoon. And like, I don't know if it's going to be a monsoon, but it's going to be messy. We were messy with perfect conditions last week. So I don't want to see another turnover fest. I want to see Michigan just cruise to victory. How about a nice, easy Saturday afternoon, boys? Instead of just like pacing around, chain smoking Pall Malls, like, for the love of God, let me have a regular, normal Saturday afternoon. So you are not crazy. Let's just get through this one, get to Ohio State healthy, and then I'll chain smoke once more.
Hey, they joked a little bit this week in the press conferences talking about giving Bredesen some carries, playing him at tailback. I really think that's just smoke and mirrors to the fact that he's going to be in there for a lot of pass pro, because Jasper Parker and Bryson Cusdahl are horrible at pass pro, as all young players are. So them saying that Bredesen's going to get those carries, I think if he does, it's less than 5, but just to keep the defense honest and just so they can't tee off when he's back there helping protect Bryce.
We say that until I see him do a John Riggins and just absolutely truck stick a man into the shadow realm, and then I'll be like, feed him.
You say that, but he's more likely to get like a Ben Mason where he just stumbles over his own feet and then just fumbles the ball forward. I'm like, oh God, here we go. So please, Brady, none of that.
I remember the Ben Mason. That was inexplicable. Yeah, I would rather not. So let's just go with what works. Maybe we're getting old and boring with this, but let's just go with what works, man. Let's get the hell out of here with a win. I'm sick of sweating through these one. Just win, baby. Anything else about this defense and how we're going to attack it?
No, let's get into keys of the game because I got some stuff here.
Hit me with it, brother.
Maryland is not going to beat Michigan unless Michigan beats Michigan. Point blank and period. That's how it's going to be. So as long as Michigan does not turn the ball over in this game, plays clean, takes care of it, no costly miscues, Michigan's going to win this game by at least 10 points. I feel very confident in that. However, we just saw Michigan is very capable of beating Michigan, but this Maryland team is not as good as Northwestern. I get, different atmospheres, different things like that. But first key to the game, 0 offensive turnovers.
I love it. And let me just follow up with that. I don't have change with me, but let me get the jingle jangle going. Pay the ferryman. He must be paid. He must be paid. It's going to be raining. So let's just run the damn ball, not turn it over. And that's still a concern with these young backs. Kuzdal's a little bit more mature, but he hasn't had a lot of carries, not a lot of time on task. Jasper Parker's going to carry it 10 times. Hold on to the ball, young man. And on the flip side, we did not turn them over last week. Northwestern, we did not. Ended our streak. Malik Washington will give it up to you. Malik Washington will pay the ferryman. We need to pay, we've got to get back on the right side. That is the Michigan formula, being on the right side of that turnover margin. So just to add on to yours, not only do we need to keep hold of the ball, but let's get back on the right side of this with our defense.
Staying on the offense for me, don't force the passing attack. If we got to throw it, it's okay. If it's not there, live to punt. We have a good defense. Like, we don't have to force anything, especially in these conditions. C.1. Not going to beat Michigan unless Michigan beats Michigan. Take care of the football, throw it out of bounds. As long as every possession ends with a successful kick, it's a good day.
Let me once again add on to yours. The legs of Bryce Underwood. If it is not there, take off. You're going to be one of our better running options. We are depleted at the running back position. There's still some talent there. Like, I think we're both high on what Kuzdal can be. I still don't know if we're saying that correctly. I need to hear someone correct me on how to properly say that, but that's neither here nor there. But you are more talented as a runner than Jasper Parker by all accounts. So take off in this one. This might be a good one to take off if it's there for it. Now, we don't want 15 carries, but 5, 6, 7, 8 carries. I think this could be a day for it.
Playing off of your point, run the damn ball over and over again. Please, just repeatedly do that. Take the ball out of harm's way. This needs to be an old school Michigan mentality kind of game. And if Michigan runs the ball for 45 times for 280 yards or something like that, I think Indiana ran for 360 on Maryland. Something outrageous. So if that's there, that's going to send a lot of fear down the highway to Columbus when they see that happen. So I like building that momentum early, establish the physicality. This offensive line has helped block for 200-yard rusher for the last 4 weeks, I believe now. So I think that's going to be key in this, especially if the conditions are bad. Lean on the run game.
To add on to that, and more so just this isn't necessarily key to the game, but something I want to see. I want to see that continued growth of the offensive line, which last week I think was the best I've seen them play all season. Would you go with that?
Second half for
last
sure.
week's game? Yeah, the second half, most definitely. Continue that forward and lead with that physicality. I couldn't agree with you more on that one. Other than that, yeah, the don't beat yourself thing, that applies to you, special teams. Look in your direction. Play it safe on special teams. You got to know what you have out there. Look, I don't want to end with a negative, so I'm not going to go too far down this rabbit hole, but you can't be losing it on special teams. So just be careful in that phase of the ball, please.
I still have some defensive ones to come back to, but special teams, Andrew Marsh, protect the football, young fella. You're going to be the new punt returner. That's all you got to do. Protect the football. A catch is great. Don't have to fight for an extra yard like Samaj did. Just go down, field it. We're good to go. Dom Zavada, keep it rolling. We have the momentum you want. You got the game winner. Kicked it out of the stadium at Wrigley, which I didn't know until the replay. Out of the stadium. That's awesome. It's like a walk-off home run. So just keep that momentum going forward, because if he is accurate in this game, and more importantly, next week, we're not going to remember the rest of the season.
Totally with you there on the defensive side of the ball. They've only given up 3 sacks. Can we double that? I think that we could in this game. They want to get the ball out quickly, so that's really how they've avoided that sack total really jumping up there. So even if you can't sack them, confuse them, and that'll help with the turnovers there. So the pressure can just lead to confusion, make him make those decisions a split second faster than he's ready to do.
To that, collapse the pocket. Disciplined rush lanes, very similar to Washington. It'd be interesting to see how Wink attacks him. I think he'll throw some different stuff at him, change the picture in the secondary after the snap, and he will throw some blitzes at him, because that's a good way to get a young quarterback off balance to see how he reacts. So I think there'll be a steady dose of mixing there. But I think when it comes down to it, this defensive line can eat with 4, and if they just slowly just suffocate the pocket and give him no escape lanes, because he is a very capable runner, I think that'll be their best strategy, and that's how they're going to get to those sacks.
I'm with you there. Side note, have we seen the last of Rod Moore this season?
Yeah, I think so.
Man, what a disappointment. That's such a bummer that it goes out like that with a whimper, not a bang. Our boy deserved better.
I know, but we're going to keep it upbeat. So to stay on the defense, no big passing plays. And to that, I'm not just talking about like long shots down the field. I'm talking about sure tackling. So that way a 4-yard gain does not turn into a 40-yard gain. If it's wet, you're going to have to be even more focused on those details about making those tackles and not letting them exploit you and quickly get down the field. So no big plays in the passing game, sure tackling to help it.
Yep, and they don't give up a lot, or they don't produce a lot of those. So from the Michigan standpoint, you just need to kind of stay with your guy, keep your legs underneath you there, keep everyone in front of you. I mean, it's going to be wet, so people are going to be falling all over, but you should be able to stick with those guys in wet conditions. I don't know that they're going to want to air it out a ton with a freshman quarterback in the rain, especially when we're
They
trying
can't run
to.
it though, do they? Have to.
They don't. They almost have to. Yeah,
They have.
that's a fair point. That's all I got, brother. Let's get your predictions and players of the game.
All right. So players of the game. One, I think this is a great chance for the defensive, especially the secondary, to get some great reps before Ohio State. If there is something wrong, something missing, this is a great chance to correct those mistakes because the defense is going to throw, or the offense from Maryland is going to throw it some more, and then throw it some more in this game. So you're going to get a ton of reps in that. So on the defensive side, give me Brandon Hillman, who's been out of the doghouse, healthy, playing much better. And if he's missing the right way now, forcing him back into the defense, not giving up the big play. I think you're going to see him have some opportunities in this one to pay the ferryman. And offensively, offensive line.
Oh, you son of a. It's fine.
This is an offensive line smash mouth Michigan day. Let's not even make it close. Let's to quote Al Borges, let's pound their ass. Let's run the ball over and over again. I do think it'll be sloppy. Conditions will have their factor in there. Maryland might get on the scoreboard early, but as I like to point out, since Michigan has not lost since October of 2021 when scoring more than 17 points, they're going to get more than 17 against Maryland. That streak is going to continue. Give me Michigan, but not with the cover as it stands right now, 28-15.
Okay. All right. I like where your head's at there. You stole my offensive line as offensive player of the game move. That's what happens when you get to go first every time. It's neither here nor there, but it does feel like it's going to be that kind of a game. Just to mix it up, I'll go with Marlon Klein, both as a blocker and maybe he has 6 yards receiving of the 90 that we're going to have passing in this game. And then on the defensive side of the ball, I like the Hillman call. Definitely feels like the secondary will have to be key in this one. The rush lanes, great call there. And I do think the defensive line will have their imprint. Whether or not they have the statistics to back it up, we'll see about that. I'll go in the secondary. I'll go with Zeke Berry in this one, our most physical corner. I could see him having some game-changing hits. I could see him like really, really causing disruption with only like 2 receivers and then a drop-off. I really like what our corners have been doing recently, and these are not close to the best receivers that we have seen all season or will see all season. I think our corners can eat in this one. I think that they're going to be able to do a lot of one-on-one man-to-man stuff in this. So I'll go Zeke Berry there. As far as my score, I've had this score written down since I started doing the prep work. The rain kind of makes me reassess a little bit, but I'm going to stick with my guts here and I'm going to go 28-7. Michigan wins this one. I think that we can handle this team. And look, they only put up 6 against Illinois. This is a much better defense than Illinois. Yeah. This is a much better defense than Illinois. I think Wick Martindale's going to give them hell.
You know what's funny is I hope the team's not doing this, but on my run today, I was thinking about the pod, thinking about predictions. I couldn't help myself. I was like, okay, so if we're going against Ohio State, I want Zeke Berry on Jeremiah Smith. I want Brandon Hillman over the top. And then I want to put on the other side, because we're going to play split field cover 7. I want Jair Hill one-on-one with Cardell Tate. Jair Hill's never had his Ohio State moment. Like he was in the doghouse last year. So if you're going to put if you want to double up and you get Zeke's physicality on Jeremiah Smith, you have 2 over 1. They're going to cloud him all game long, just like last year. Then you let Jair Hill go man-to-man on Cardell Tate. That's a big one. I think that's how I defend that potent
That's
attack.
fun. That's a lot of fun. That's like coming up with a basketball defensive strategy. It's like, well, we got to have a wing on Tatum, but like, what if you put a 4 on Tatum and like have a 4 guard him, like get the physical guy? Yeah, I really like that. No, I like it. I mean, obviously they're going to be passing off and disguising coverages because that's how we've done it, and that's how Wink Martindale's done it in the past. But as far as just like which man is on which man, I like that. I like where your head's at there, sir. And no one will fault you for looking ahead and beginning to think about Ohio State. It's November. We've made it this far. I think we've done quite well. It's November 20th. Like we're not far off now.
It's that time of the year, man. You want to look around the country real quick?
Yeah, let's look around the country and take a little look at what the college football playoff picture would look like. Because like we said, Michigan wins out. They're going to be in this morass of teams at 10-2 that the committee's going to have to make a decision on. But should they beat Ohio State, without a doubt, the best win of anyone in the country.
Yeah, exactly. And they will not have the worst loss. I can guarantee you of both those with the teams that are in the mix there. But looking around the country this weekend, kind of a weak slate. Very disappointing. First game here in Missouri at Oklahoma. Obviously no Bo Prabula, who was lost for the season.
Yeah, that makes me think that it's going to be Oklahoma. Just got to be careful of the hangover game. Big emotional win last week. So I'll still go Oklahoma. Prabula was a big part of that. Drinkovitz, I think, is probably taking another job after this year. So, yeah, give me Oklahoma in that one. Closer than you'd think, though.
A game with massive ramifications, USC at Oregon.
Massive ramifications for us. So for the Michigan rooting interest, we want Oregon to just beat USC.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So
USC has to get. USC has to take another loss. Like
we need to get ahead of them.
Yeah, we would love to see that, and I mean, I would love a scenario where that happens, and the next week Oregon loses to Washington, and then Michigan beats Ohio State and backdoors into the Big Ten championship.
That's the dream scenario. Yeah. So, and hey, look, if anyone's going to do us a solid, it's Jed Fish. But this week we got to pull for Land Danning and Oregon, and I do think that that's a tough matchup for USC. I think Oregon will win it, and that's what we need to happen anyway. So, give me Oregon.
Pitt at Georgia Tech.
Pitt, you disappointed me. Got your ass beat by Notre Dame. And then Georgia Tech, like struggling a little bit with teams that they shouldn't be struggling. I have no read on this game. I have no read on this conference. I'll go Georgia Tech. I'm a Haynes King guy.
Yeah, they're really limping to the finish line here, but I just can't pick a Pat Narduzzi-led team after the lead up to Notre Dame when he was like, I don't care if we lose by 100. It's not a conference game. It's like, that'll inspire those young men. That'll do it. Last one here I have for you, BYU at Cincinnati.
Yeah, I think I like BYU in this one, but BYU's another team we could use to take an L. That would also help Michigan because they could get 2 in with that conference, and BYU would have a good case for it. So I'm going to pull for Cincinnati. Why not? I was raised in Ohio. I don't much have an affinity for the state, but Cincinnati's in it, and it's close to where I grew up. So let's go Cincinnati there.
BYU has to take another loss, whether it be this week or next week. They only have one on the season to the ass kicking they took from Texas Tech, but they need another one. That'll really help clear up the picture and prevent the Big 12 from getting 2 teams in. So yeah, I think BYU is going to win this one, but I want Cincinnati.
Same. I'm pulling for Cincinnati, so I'm going to choose them here and hope that gives them some good karma. But BYU's a better team, and that coach has got them humming. And that quarterback, Bachmeier,
true freshman.
Yeah, insane. True freshman. And like him and Mestamaker, there's some studs. They're like the quarterback position is in a great place with some of these young. I mean, Bryce Underwood and Malik Washington. This weekend's matchup is just yet 2 more examples. There's some really, really good freshman quarterbacks in the country.
Yeah, and a lot of struggling upperclassmen. It's been a very strange quarterback year.
It's been a very odd quarterback year. Next year, though, this is the one they're circling. They're like, next year's the year to want a quarterback. But we were kind of thinking that this year, and that did not end up being the case. But just more options next year.
Well, it's the options you're supposed to have this year. They just all didn't perform. It's like, well,
exactly. Maybe, it's the same guys.
Maybe next year they'll be better. It's just like, let's run it back again. So I guess we'll see, hoping for another year of development. But with this coaching carousel, man, that's going to shake things up too.
It's really shaking things up. It should be very interesting. It's going to be a very interesting last 2 weeks of the season. Brother, this was all fine and good. This was a nice appetizer, but we are straight meat and potatoes on Monday. God willing, we get out of here with a win. You and I get to start talking Ohio State. That'll primarily be the next Thursday pod, but I know us. We're going to start talking about it on Monday. That's just who we are as men.
It's going to start happening next week's pod. Also, second one will be on Friday, not Thursday, because Thursday's Thanksgiving. So just a heads up to the listeners out there. But we will be recording Monday night, so that'll be out Tuesday. And yeah, I mean, we'll recap Maryland probably, hopefully, for 5, maybe 6 minutes. And then we're going to move on to Ohio State. Because what more do you want from us? It's the game.
It's the game, and God willing, it should have some ramifications. It should matter. It always matters to us. Should matter on a national scale. What are we doing if we beat them for a 5th time in a row? What I mean, just like consuming an entire bottle of Casamigos on the stream. Obviously, no shirts.
I feel like I have to light something on fire.
Yeah. Let's set our own homes on fire and see how long we can pod before the electricity goes out.
See how long it can happen. Take it up. We have to ask producer Tony what he wants to do, since this is his first rodeo with us.
That's true. Excited for that. I'm excited to have Tony along for the ride. Thank all of you for dropping in today and hanging out with us on the live stream. We will get this up tonight, so it'll be up for you, for most of you, Friday morning, and you get a chance to listen to it before the game on Saturday. At the very normal kickoff time of 4:01 Eastern time, I will be going live with Michael Smeltzer for Bleacher Report. Right after that, you can keep an eye out for that link on Twitter, social media, or you can just find it on Bleacher Report. Andy, anything else from you, my friend?
That's all, brother. Let's get this win.
Let's get this dub. We will be back next week. I am Jared. That is Andy. This is Out of the Blue. We'd like to remind you that wherever you go,